Okay. So, discriminate, you guys are going to be able to use that part to determine the nature of the roots. Remember, roots is another word for...
Square root.
Say what?
Square root.
No, not that type of... No. Roots, think quadratics. It's another word for roots. Yes? Solutions. AKA what? What's another word for it? X what? Huh? X-intercepts. So roots, solutions, x-intercepts, they all mean the same thing. The discriminant is going to tell us what type of x-intercepts, what type of solutions, what type of roots we're going to have. So the quadratic formula, we know it's negative b plus or minus square root, b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. The discriminant is the part that is underneath the radical sign, that b squared minus 4ac. b squared minus 4ac, that is the discriminant without the radical, okay? That number alone, whatever that number is that's underneath the radical, can tell you what type of solutions you're going to have, what type of roots you're going to have, okay? You're either going to have 2 real roots, 1 real root, or no real roots, okay? And it's all based off of that number, the discriminant, okay? Your 2 real solutions. If you take a look at this, if you look at just the discriminant part, not the entire quadratic formula, just the discriminant part, the b squared minus 4ac. What's b?
4. Negative 4.
Negative 4. What's a? 1. What's c?
3.
3. When you just take that part alone, the part that's underneath the radical, and you figure out what that number is, what's negative 4 squared?
16.
16. Minus, what's 4 times 1 times 3?
12.
12. What's 16 minus 12?
4.
4. That number is positive, okay? That means that if you go and you plug it back into the quadratic formula, you're going to take the square root of 4. Can you take the square root of 4?
Yes.
And then you'll have, you know, the negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, et cetera, et cetera. Here, you're going to have 2 real solutions because you'll be able to work out the rest of the problem to actually be 2 solutions. What does that look like on your graph? It looks something like that. The graph actually crosses the x-axis at 2 points. The discriminant doesn't tell you what they are. It tells you how many you're going to have. I'll say that again. The discriminant doesn't tell you what the solutions are. It tells you how many you're going to have and what type you're going to have. So if it's positive, you're going to have 2 solutions, 2 real solutions. Does everybody understand that? Okay. The quadratic formula is what tells you what they are. The discriminant tells you what type. Okay? So if it's positive, you're going to have 2 real solutions. Ready to go? 1 real solution. Find the discriminant here. Go ahead and do the b squared minus 4ac here. Doing just the discriminant, just the part that's underneath the square root. Figuring out what that value is. Hope it doesn't take you that long. What is it?
0.
It is 0, okay? 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 1. Yes, that's 4 minus 4, which is 0. When that happens, that means the graph, the quadratic, is just touching the x-axis, meaning you're only going to have 1 real solution, 1 x-intercept, 1 real root, okay? It's actually called a double root. That's the other name when you have a situation like this, okay? But there you go. When the discriminant is 0, you're going to have 1 solution. Good? And last but not least, no real solutions. What do you think? Discriminant is going to be negative. So when you look at this one, do the discriminant of this one. Did I copy the wrong one?
Yeah, it's supposed to be.
Okay. Sorry, I copied the wrong one when I did the slides. It's x squared
Minus 2x plus 2.
plus 2. Sorry, thank you for letting me know. You're doing this one that's on your foldable. What's the discriminant? Negative 4. Okay? Remember, that's the part that's underneath the radical. So if I wanted to do the rest of the quadratic formula, this is what I would have. So yes, I would have my I situation going on here. I would have no real solutions. That basically means your graph, your quadratic, is not even touching the x-axis. So whenever the discriminant is negative, you're going to have no real solutions. They're going to be imaginary. Okay? So that's just building onto the quadratic formula. Okay? So again, discriminant doesn't tell you what your solutions are, but what kind there are and how many of them you're going to have. Okay? Questions? All right, so get this one glued in.